speech. Oh, she's gonna speak.
I think I do know this. Oh, I don't want to drop it.
I know. There you go.
I don't know what she is.
Good morning, dear fellow Toastmasters.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Howdy.
In the next few minutes, you're going to learn the answer to the question, what does Jack Klugman have to do with me becoming one of the most recent members of your Pikes Peak Toastmasters number 3044? We'll get there by 1, talking about a brief history of the term forensics. 2, having a little discussion of how public speaking is related to crime scene investigation. And 3, we'll also talk about how those 2 topics help connect me to your Toastmasters Club. First, a brief history of the term forensics. In the early 300s BC, Greek philosopher Aristotle wrote a book called On Rhetoric, and he talked about 3 different kinds of speech. And in that book, he coined the term forensics. And it means the form of speaking that either attacks or defends someone. Today, the adjective forensic is broadly defined as pertaining to, connected with, or used in courts of law or public discussion and debate. The noun forensics is the art of the study of argumentation and formal debate. And the inclusion of the Greek classics in the development of our Western education system led to a number of organizations that foster the development of public speaking and debate skills in our educational system in elementary, secondary, and post-secondary institutions. Now, a discussion of how public speaking is related to crime scene investigation. Back in the 1970s, as I was growing up, there was a very popular show called Quincy. And Quincy was a medical examiner who was a forensic pathologist played by Jack Klugman. Jack Klugman was kind of the show Quincy was kind of the grandfather of our really popular crime drama shows these days, like Crime Scene Investigation, CSI Miami, CSI New York, Timbuktu, all those different ones. And so in that series, Quincy was a very endearing character who fought for the underdog, and he would help develop cases in court that would either attack or defend a person. So he would use the study of the evidence of a crime scene to build a case for someone. And that's why his science is called forensic pathologist. Now, how do those 2 topics help connect me to the Pikes Peak Toastmasters? Well, about the time Quincy was wrapping up his career as a medical examiner on TV in the early 80s, I was entering high school in Norton, Kansas. And our high school had a forensics team. I was required as a freshman to be in public speaking class, and our public speaking teacher encouraged everyone to join the forensics team. And in that team, we would go to competitions around the state, and we would give speeches to earn awards. I lettered in forensics. I also lettered in things like stenography, typing, band, and vocal. So back in those, I wasn't an athlete, in other words. But that's all aside from the forensics team that I was on. We did not specifically do debate, but we had things like informative speeches, extemporaneous speeches. I took the SAFE course, and participated in prose and poetry, which allowed us to do interpretive reading with a piece of paper in front of us. So I stayed safe with that. Well, 3 years ago, we moved back to my hometown, and I was so excited that my daughter, who was going into her freshman year, got to be a Blue Jay at Norton Community High School like I had been, and I was super excited that forensics was part of that experience for her. So she joined the forensics team as well, but she was much more daring. She did a project, she participated in the event called Impromptu. And in impromptu speaking, you would go to the event and you would check into your judge's room. You would draw a topic out of a box. Then you'd have 20 minutes to develop a 5 to 7 minute speech. And then go give it in front of judges and get judged and get all kinds of feedback that you may or may not want. In fact, in her freshman year, she did very well according to her teacher, but we could never tell because she wouldn't let us attend. She was too nervous to do the speeches in front of people she knew. So, but over the course of time, I watched my daughter blossom and gain confidence because her team was extra good, and the Blue Jays went on to be the state champions, 3A state champions in forensics, each one of the 3 years she was there. Well, now that we've moved back to Colorado Springs, the high school she's going to does not have a forensics team, which is a bummer, but she's involved in drama here. So, but she is able to take an AP medical forensics class. So that's what led me to curiosity about that word. And as you can see, we've talked about the history of forensics. We've talked about how the word forensics is related to crime scene investigation. And we've talked about how it got me to be in front of you today. And now you know the answer to why Jack Klugman is connected to me being here in the Pikes Peak Toastmasters.
Yeah.